Welcome to Tarot by Ralph on Hermetic Temple Radio. Well, hello, this is Frater Ralph with Hermetic Temple Radio, and tonight I'm going to do something I have not done in a long time. I'm just going to hang out here with you tonight, do a little tarot, talk a little bit about tarot, play a few songs, just kind of get down a little bit. We've been putting a lot of effort into our meditation broadcasts, and, we've been actually off the air for the last couple of weeks, because of our internet connection, but we seem to have that issue resolved. And so now we're ready to get back up to full functioning strength here on Hermetic Temple Radio, and right now we're just going to get into a little bit of tarot. Going to talk a little bit about our tarot services that we offer here through Temple of the Infinite Universe. And then also, eventually, we will get to a energy reading for tomorrow. That'll be just a general reading for all you listeners out there for tomorrow, August the 15th, 2016. But tonight, I'd like to start off by talking about a slightly different direction that we are heading in here as far as our tarot reading services are concerned. We have been operating, my wife and I, a tarot-based service on the Keen Advisor Network. And we've been active on Keen. I've been active off and on since 2013. My wife has been active she started out in 2011, but really didn't really start getting going heavy on it until 2013. And when we first got involved in that advisor network, it was pretty neat. It's still a good service. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to trash Keen in any way, but they're just wanting to grow in a different direction than what I am comfortable with. And in the beginning, we had our freedom to set our own prices. I had my first initial price set rather ridiculously low for doing tarot readings. I think my first venture, I wasn't quite at the bottom 50 cent per minute spot, but I was pretty darn close. I started out at 65 cents per minute, and I enjoyed it. I got a lot of calls from folks that didn't have a whole lot of money, but they had some questions, and I enjoyed networking with them and connecting with them and doing their tarot readings. And I wasn't making a whole boatload of money doing it, but I was making enough, and I was happy with that. And my wife started about the same time, and I think we had her set at about 75 cents a minute, which, was a little higher than mine, but she had a certain niche that she fit in a very highly sought after niche on Keen. It was a Spanish reading network. And I think at that time that she started, there were like only about 20 people that were signed up to give readings in Spanish. I think since then that has grown. I think that's up to something like 50 or 75. I haven't really taken a look at the old site and counted. But I mean, she was doing pretty well without, charging an exorbitant price. And that's pretty much the way that we like to operate because we are both my wife and I come from a working class background. I think when I was growing up, we used to consider ourselves middle class, but actually anymore today we'd be considered the working poor. And we wanted to help people in that income bracket, the either the working poor or the common laborer, folks that really couldn't afford to put out a great deal of money. And I always thought that, 15-20 for a tarot reading, should be about the going rate, for a short tarot reading. And charging 65-75 cents per minute, yeah, that's pretty much what the customer was called to pay, at least for a short reading. Now, if they wanted to go on for a longer session, they could stay as long as they wanted and rack up quite a bill, or put a lot of money on their credit card. But we were happy with that. And in the last few months, the Keen network has changed. They've come under new ownership. They want to upscale their market. They no longer want to be offering the 50-cent per minute readings or the 75-cent per minute readings. They issued a policy change just a few months ago in which they raised the minimum price that readers could charge from 50 cents to $1.50. So it was a heck of a leap. And they also increased the amount that we, the readers, had to give out of our earnings to provide, make up for the connection cost and all that. They were taking, I think, about 55% out of our earnings, and that was the fees and whatnot, and the money that they would put into advertising and beefing up the site. And now I think it's gone up something like 60%. So in order to keep an income coming in, we had to raise our prices from, obviously from 75 cents or 65 cents up to the $1.50 minimum. And then with the increase of fees and whatnot, we felt that we had to really raise our price in order to continue to make a living. And what I see as having happened in all this is that the site has become a good site for people who have a good income. But for the working class people, the folks that, I relate to because I am in the working class. I consider myself to be a working class slob. And a working poor slob at this point in time. And folks in that income category have just been priced out of the market. And I just really feel this is sad because a lot of our old customers can no longer afford to seek our advice on that network. So what I have done is that as of last week, I am taking some time away from Keen to put into our own tarot reading sites, which we've had going for a couple of years now, but we've been putting so much time in on the professional keen site, that I haven't really had the time, been taking the time to beef up our own private sites. And so that's what the direction that we are heading in now. I don't think that people should have to pay $133 an hour for a tarot reading. I mean, if you've got the money, you can if you want. But, if you're a working class person, a blue collar worker, you don't have that kind of money to spend. And I know that. If you got $20 for a reading, hell, you're doing pretty darn good. But I don't think you should have to pay like $133 or $150 an hour, or some readers even charge more than that. I think that a good, fair price for your basic tarot reading is, about 99 cents per minute. I think even today, at today's rates. I figured it out on pencil and paper and figured in our expenses, and heck yeah, I figured 99 cents per minute. We can definitely survive on that and offer our customers a decent, very informative, and very good tarot reading experience. So I've been beefing up our sites, looking over our prices, looking over our services. And what I have done on my tarot reading site, which is www.tarotbyralph.com, is I'm offering a 20-minute reading for $19.99. And if you want to go longer than 20 minutes, then you can do that. Instead of $19.99 for 20 minutes, we can go $39.99 for 40 minutes. And if you want to go for a full hour, well, heck, we can work that out too, and go $59.99 for the full hour, and just talk tarot, talk about your problems, talk about your concerns, and just connect and just hang out. And what I'm also thinking about doing is for the people that have never had a tarot reading before, folks that may be curious about tarot, but may not really be wanting to risk, $19.99 on a new reader. If you're curious and you only want to spend like $10, then what I am offering for first-time people is for different. I think we are off the air here. Well, we're back on the air now. Well, I'm not exactly sure how much of that took. We were off the air for 10 minutes? Oh my goodness. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to get back to talking tarot here. And we're just going to fall back 5 yards and punt. But here's a song here by the Hollywood Drunks, another group I like, called You're Right. And we'll kind of figure out where we're going to go from here.
Saturday night, jury. Scary ass, drunk in the corners, making me real worried. Anything I can do, you can do better. So there's really no point in putting on the stopper pressure. Can I get a hey, hey? We'll do it like you wanna. Don't push me no more, cause I might say something about your mama. You're right, you're right. It might be that you're right. You're right, you're right. Me thinking that you're right. You're right, you're right. I'm telling you that you're right. Nobody dropped the bomb, yo. I'm saying that you're right. Any day, oh, I'm gonna get away. I'll be here, oh, just like a runaway, watching it slide to the other side. Best regards, oh, here's my last reply. Oh, another Saturday night. Saturday night. Too many years now, and not enough hustle. I hope it's not too late to get myself a little muscle. Who am I? I'm just your friendly next door neighbor, or the loser on the block that says I'll call you later. Feel free to cut me down to a pimp-sized clown. Here I go, watch me do what I'm gonna do now. Oh, we'll do it like you wanna. Don't push me no more, cause I might say something about your mama. You're right, you're right. It might be that you're right. You're right, you're right. Me thinking that you're right. You're right, you're right. I'm telling you that you're right. Nobody dropped the bomb, yo. I'm saying that you're right. Any day, oh, I'm gonna get away. I'll be here, oh, just like a runaway, watching it slide to the other side. Best regards, oh, here's my last reply. Oh, another Saturday night. Oh, another Saturday night. Too many years now. Oh, too many years now. Another Saturday night. Too many years now.
Okay, we are back. It looks like we were off the air for about 4 minutes. We're just going to plod on here. Anyway, I was talking about our private websites, and we have two of them. Mine, tarot website, which I do tarot readings in English, is www.tarotbyralph.com. And as I said, I am lowering my prices somewhat to make us a little more accessible by folks of lesser means. And we also have a donate button on our website that if you think that we've done a pretty good reading, if you think I've done a pretty good reading, and you think it's worth more than the $19.99 for 20 minutes, then you can go ahead and leave a tip. You know, leave a donation, whatever you want to do. And any tips, any donations, we put right back into the running of Hermetic Temple Radio and our spiritual outreach Temple of the Infinite Universe. So anything that you want to give will be put to a good use and be deeply appreciated. And on my site, I am expanding my different ways of doing tarot readings. Up to now, my wife and I have been doing tarot by phone and then also by Skype, which works out pretty good for our international customers and our national customers too, because we have a Skype worldwide plan where we can call virtually almost any place in the world. There are a few exceptions. And all we pay is, I think $13.99 a month for that plan, and it's pretty much unlimited. So we take advantage of it. We use that for calls within the United States. We use it for calls outside the United States. And for doing tarot readings using the Skype, working with other people that have Skype, you know, we can do a video call, and that's pretty neat. It's almost like being face to face, having a personal reading, you know, with the client. And for those that don't have Skype, you know, we can call your phone using our Skype network. So it's pretty neat there too. And so we've been doing that, offering readings by phone and by Skype. But I am also going to add in an email option for people that may want a reading, may not be able to find time to sit down to have an appointment. You can email me your question, and I will email you back your reading. And I need to work on my pricing for that. We're going to try to keep that as low as we can as well. And we'll be announcing that option later on this week when it becomes available. And a fourth option that has come to my attention, I took a poll of some of my Twitter followers and asked them what is your favorite form of electronic communication. And an answer came back of about 50%, saying that they preferred to have text communication. And so I got thinking, okay, how can we offer tarot reading by text messages? And I think we can work it out. I've been sitting down with my cell phone and practicing my texting abilities. And yeah, I think that we can do that fairly well. So again, coming up probably at the end of next week, we will have a fourth option for people that if they want a personal tarot reading, I will anyway, be able to provide that via text message if you so desire. So by the end of next week, we hope to have our services on Tarot by Ralph expanded to where we will still have phone, we will still have Skype readings, and then we'll also have email and text readings available as well. I just need to figure out the pricing on that and figure out how to kick it off, but that shouldn't be too difficult to do. So again, by this time next week, we should be fully operational on that level. Now, my wife does tarot readings in Spanish, and she doesn't do text. She doesn't really do email that well, but she does phone brilliantly, and she loves to do Skype. So if you want a tarot reading done in Spanish, she's not too comfortable doing it in English yet, just like I'm not very comfortable doing it in Spanish. Matter of fact, my Spanish is so bad I don't think I could really do much at all in Spanish except say hello and goodbye. But if you want a good tarot reading in Spanish, contact Heidi, and she's at www.reverendheidi.com, and she will do Spanish tarot readings by either phone or by Skype. Now, I'm going to take a little pause from that extended pitch on our tarot reading services and do a tarot reading asking the question, what is the basic energy for the people out there for tomorrow, Monday, August the 15th, 2016? And I am going to go ahead and use a standard Celtic cross spread. Got the cards in motion now. Takes a while to get the cards shuffled up. And there we go. Get the cards shuffled there. We're going to cut the deck 3 times. Reassemble the deck with my left hand. And we will deal out the cards. First card is the Ace of Swords, and that represents the question. And that's a pretty good card for representing the question because the Ace of Swords symbolizes thought, the beginning of thought, a new train of thought. So, a good representation of the question, what is the general energy for tomorrow? And the second card, which crosses the first card, is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands can be said to relate to business, networking. It can be said to be about your work, your job, your creative activities, whatever it is that you do to expand your realm of influence, your business empire or your personal empire, so to speak. And the third card, representing the past, the distant past, is the Five of Pentacles, indicating a time of lack, a time of loss, a time in which you needed help to get by. And that is offset by the recent past energy of Justice, indicating the beginning of a cycle, as I see it, of progressing out of poverty and putting in the hard work to establish yourself. And the Justice card in the recent past position represents things unfolding as they should. A just day's wage for a just day's work. Putting in the energy and being able to get back the reward from your efforts. So the energy right now is beginning to look like it's taking a turn, from, working, effort, putting out effort to better yourself, and then the universe working with you to allow that betterment to occur. Now the next card representing the future energy, and this is a real hopeful card, it's the Star. And the Star represents new hope, new clarity, things really starting to take shape. So it looks like a pretty good energy for the beginning of the work week for most people. Things, the Justice card representing things going as they should, and then the Star card representing new hope, new clarity, just an energy of hope that's coming into play for tomorrow. And then the possible future outcome, see the way I read the Celtic Cross, we have two future cards. One is a possible future, and the other is the outcome, which is also possible, but a little more definite than the other. And the possible energy card, outcome card for tomorrow is the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups represents celebration. You can say victory, perhaps victory at work, but being a cup. Cups tend to represent the emotional side of the human being. And love, happiness, friendship, things of that nature. So the Three of Cups here representing celebration, happiness, perhaps success in a material way, but more geared towards success in an emotional way. Being with friends, being with family, being with somebody that you love, and just having a good feeling about the future. And the next four cards that I have laid out, called the Pillar, and right next to the Celtic Cross, tell us a rather similar story. That the past of struggle has come to an end. The current environment is one represented by the Tower. And the Tower represents endings, drastic change. And if we look at the past energy here as being one of struggle, being one of lack, then the Tower card can be seen as positive change. Things are going to be forking off in a different direction. Your past struggles of lack will come to an end, and you will be given a different option, a different road, a different path, more or less. So the Tower card represents massive change, possibly sudden change, a reversal in luck, and I think in this context, I'm going to read it as a reversal in luck for the better. And then the next card, representing the advice that Spirit has for us tomorrow, is the Two of Swords. And this is where the choice comes in. Two of Swords represents two possible ways that you can go. You can continue to do things the way you did in the past, with a poverty consciousness, thinking in terms of, I don't have this, I don't have that. How am I going to get what I need? You can break with that line of thinking and instead look to new ways. Look to new possibilities. What can I be doing differently to better myself, to better my income, to serve the needs of others, and to serve the needs of myself at the same time? There's an old axiom coming from the Rosicrucian tradition that I love, and that is if you want to create a job for yourself, think along these lines. How can I serve the needs of others while at the same time earning a living for myself and leaving the world a better place? And I think that's the choice that the Two of Swords is giving us at this moment. Decide for yourself. Am I going to break with my troubled past and look to new ways to better myself? Or am I just going to get up tomorrow morning and just do the same old, same old, same old, do the same old thing and expect different results? And the Two of Swords says, it's time to make better choices. It's time to make a better decision. It's time to start doing things a little differently. And then the final outcome card is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups represents love, also communications. And the page represents a beginning student, someone who is just kind of starting to learn. And so the Page of Cups card here can represent learning ways to better communicate our needs to others. If you're working a job that you've been working for a while, you don't have enough to get by on, work on your communication skills to go to your boss and say, hey, I need a break. I need a raise. I don't know how, but we need to work something out here. And just work on your communication skills. Don't just sit back and take hard times. Do what you can do to change hard times. And oftentimes talking to your superiors, talking to the people that you work with, talking to friends and family, brainstorming, thinking of what other possibilities are there. If you're stuck in a dead-end job, look at other possible jobs that you might be qualified for, other things that you might be able to do. Begin to think outside the box, but before you can really think outside the box, you also have to be able to discuss your future plans with other people that are close to you. And I think that's what the Page of Cups here is telling us. Work on your communication skills, practice communication, and then using the power of compassion, communication, and just good planning. Decide how you can make yourself a better, brighter future. And that ties in with the Three of Cups card, which is celebration, a cup of victory. It may be victory in your present position, whatever that may be, or it may be victory in finding a better position, a better job, a better career, a better way of earning a living for yourself while at the same time helping other people. And that concludes our energy reading for tomorrow, Monday, August the 15th, 2016. And if this was an interactive reading, of course, I'd be asking the client, do you have any questions? And when I'm doing a face-to-face reading or a reading over Skype or over the phone, I encourage people, if you have a question at any time during the reading, feel free to stop me and we'll clarify. And if something that I say hits you, speaks to you within your heart, then maybe we've hit on something that we really need to discuss more deeply, a little more carefully. Doing a reading with no clear client right now, I just have to keep right on going. But when I'm doing a reading for a private client, an individual, I encourage your questions and encourage you to engage in a conversation. So it's not just sitting down and listening to the reader, it's having a conversation with the seeker, the reader, and the tarot deck itself. The element of spirit, as I like to think of it. I'm going to take a break, play a song here by Burn She Thornside, Can I Be a Star? And then we'll be back to wrap this up. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I forgot to mention that uh, we do uh, tarot readings by phone, by Skype, internationally. And now the text message option that we will be adding in by sometime next week, that will be limited to our U.S. customers because we're just going to start out with the U.S. market first and see where that goes. And then later, I think I can add in international text using our Skype program, but that might be a little more problematic. But international folks, outside the United States, we would still love to connect with you via Skype and have like a face-to-face discussion with you, connection, or talk to you by the phone. But for text people, that will be limited to United States customers. And another update that we are working on all of our sites, and this is to kind of help transactions internationally, is that we have begun to explore the world of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, if you're familiar with that, it is an international cryptocurrency. And it can be used internationally just as easily as it can be used with your neighbor across the street. It's a pretty neat innovation that came up. I believe it was first introduced in 2009, something like that, and it's really taken off since then. And over the past couple of weeks, I've been exploring Bitcoin, exploring different options, and I think now we will be able to offer Bitcoin as a payment system on all of our tarot websites. And I'm working with a partner now, trying to get it worked out where we will have regular payment buttons on the website that you can use to trade with us in Bitcoin. And what I also would like to do, and this is going to take me a little bit longer, I'm not that technical of an individual, but I am looking to install Bitcoin fountains on both of our tarot websites. I think I'm going to do it on Reverend Heidi's site first, and that will be our experimental site. But a Bitcoin fountain is where you can log on, play a few games, but instead of just playing the game for fun, you also get rewarded by receiving a few fractions of Bitcoin. A few fractions called Satoshis. And these Satoshis that you win playing these little games on these Bitcoin fountains, you can't make a living at it. On a good day, you're going to be making just a fraction of a cent or maybe a penny or two here and there. But it's enough to where you can kind of get the feel for what it is to be dealing in Bitcoins. And it's really good to introduce people to the world of Bitcoin. These Bitcoin fountains, these little games where you can log on, play, be rewarded in a few fractions of Bitcoin, and then you can also create your own Bitcoin wallet and learn how to store your new cryptocurrency. And it's really a fun way to just get to know the world of Bitcoin. That's the way I started out just a couple of weeks ago. I'm very new in this whole world of cryptocurrency, but I can see where this is most likely going to be, the way of the future. And it's going to be a revolutionary, definitely evolutionary new direction that the world of international finance will be taking. And so to keep up with things, we're going to be adding the Bitcoin option, Bitcoin payment option on all of our websites. And then we will see about adding in a Bitcoin fountain. On one website, we'll see how it goes, and then if that's successful, we'll add them to all of our private websites to encourage people to explore this new world of cryptocurrency and to get a taste for what I think is definitely going to be the way of the future. That's about all the time we have left. I was just going to do a half-hour broadcast, and we've exceeded that, but going to close out now and encourage you to visit our sites. If you want to order a tarot reading in English from me, go to www.tarotbyralph.com and just pick out your options and see what you'd like to do. And if you want a tarot reading in Spanish, go to www.reverendheidi.com and you can go ahead and order a reading in Spanish. And until we meet again, I am going to bid you a good evening and close out with a song called Prometheus by Hunter and the Dirty Jacks. And until we meet again around the universe, I wish you all a blessed day of spiritual discovery. Thanks for tuning in.
It's just been dark at night. Once the sun goes down, there's no more heat and no light. But the cold outside, it only chills to the bone. So I walk on the Olympus instead of sleeping alone. Off in the distance, my heart felt the glow upon the mountain of knowledge where it's forbidden to go. Side was this lady aflame. The moment I saw her, it was clear why I came. This is a daughter of Zeus. Yeah, those are clearly the odds. Now I got something in mind I gotta steal from the gods. She moves with the flicker, she goes red on to blue. And come with me, child, I'll light my whole world with you. Started brewing as we ran down the hill. It's gathering the darkness with a pissed off God's will. Now Zeus is at my heels, cause I defied divine plan. Oh, the love of this woman, I brought fire to man. She said, what's your name? I said, there's much to discuss, but the humans below call me Prometheus. Child, I'll light my whole world with you.